We'd like to welcome in right now one of the best teachers of all time and in the world, 2007 PGA National Teacher of the Year. He is the one and only Mr. Jim Hardy. Good morning, Jim. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, guys. I'm doing great. Thanks.
Hey, what a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm a little nervous, buddy, because I'm a fan of yours. I'm a big fan of yours, by the way. But we want to get a little personal things out of the way. Cypress Ridge here on the Central Coast. I know you're familiar with it, with you and Peter Jacobson project?
That's right. We designed that. It's just south of San Luis Obispo, and then we did another one in Southern California in Moore Park. Well, it's actually called Moore Park Country Club.
I know both places, but I want you to know that we are about 2 minutes from Cypress Ridge as we speak.
Ah, well, you're in a beautiful place.
We are in San Luis Obispo right now. That's where our studio is, and Bonnie Lauer, I know, is a student of yours, and she's just an amazing woman. So
she's a great friend as well. She's terrific.
Jim, I've got some great questions here for you, and again, besides being the instructor for many of the top tour players, and everybody knows of you, you've become the teacher of the teachers. You really have. You're a role model for us. Both Mike and I are PGA instructors. Who are your role models? Do you have any role models?
Well, I sure do. Two that would come right to bat. Both of them were mentors of mine, Harvey Pinnock and a gentleman from England named John Jacobs.
Yeah.
And along with my very first teacher, a PGA golf professional named Harold Hoffman, and all three of those guys, I certainly hope some way in my life I can exemplify the traits that they had, both as human beings and as golf teachers.
Well, Jim, there's a lot of golf books out there for the listeners to choose from, and I'm sure all our listeners have their favorite golf book. Do you have a favorite golf book for you?
Yeah, called The Plain Truth.
Okay, we knew that was coming. I couldn't say not your own. I wanted to see if you'd say that. But how about besides The Plain Truth? Is there?
Yes, John Jacobs wrote a fabulous book called Practical Golf, and it ties everything in from ball flight to impact to swing shape. And I think it's a must book in every serious golfer's library. Once again, it's Practical Golf by John Jacobs.
Okay, perfect. We just got it, and I'm so glad you said. You're not the first instructor to say that. We get the Percy Boomer book a lot, and we get this Practical Golf. So I have it in my collection actually. Hey, we've got a PGA professional locally, and the head pro wants to ask you a question. But before we do, actually, let's get him right now. He's he's at the Avila Beach Golf Resort. I'm gonna try to put him on. Hold on. Okay, Jay, you there?
Hey, Billy.
And welcome, Jay Ferrier, PGA head professional in Avila Beach. You were on the line with Jim Hardy, buddy. And I want to say, Jim, before he answers, he is a big fan of yours and has implemented a lot of your style in his teaching. Is it safe to say that, Jay?
Very, very much so.
Well, I appreciate that, Jay, and good to talk to you today.
Nice to talk to you, Jim, as well.
So go for it, Jay. Ask your question, buddy.
Jim, I've most definitely I've watched a lot of your video. I've watched you on a bunch of different programs. Congratulations on your PGA Teacher of the Year a couple of years ago. It's awesome. I think you pretty much nailed it as far as the one plane and two plane. The problem that I've run into recently is I've got some students that have come to me with this new concept of this stack and tilt type swing. How is that different from? It looks to me like it's almost a combination of the two, but how does it differ from? It looks more one plane-ish than anything else, and how does it differ from that?
It is a one plane swing. Of course, I define one plane and two plane as saying they cover all swings, meaning if you understand the body as a motor and the arms as a separate motor, those two motors either run in somewhat the same plane or they don't. They run in two different planes, and hence my terminology one plane and two plane. Stack and tilt is a one plane golf swing. Now, the elements that I talk about in my books that I think make a one plane swing function the best, and some of the things they teach, yes, they are different. However, I believe personally that there is room for some argument within the two systems, and I certainly believe there's room for variations. Now, what the one plane swing teaches different than what the stack and tilt teaches different than what I advocate for the same golf swing is simply they hold the upper body very much in the left center or the forward part of the stance. I prefer holding the weight below the waist in the forward part of the stance, but not particularly the upper body. I believe that the more you hold the upper body forward in the stance and swing one plane, you will become a great iron player because you can trap the ball very easily.
Yeah.
But I think driving becomes a little bit more difficult. It's very interesting. I had a chance to ask Sam Snead some questions one-on-one at dinner one night with him before he died. And I said, Sam, how do you feel that your golf swing was like Ben Hogan's, and how was it different? And interestingly enough, he laughed and he said, well, no one ever said I swung like Ben Hogan. And he looked at me and he said, you're right, we actually did. He said, my swing was slow and syrupy, and Ben's was fast, so everybody thought we didn't swing alike. But both of us had pivot-dominated golf swings. Now, that was his turn, and I would certainly agree with that. They were both one-planers playing with huge pivots. He said where we were different, he said Ben played more in the left part of his stance with his entire body and trapped the ball and was a better iron player. I played with my weight more centered and my pivot more centered in my body and swept the ball and was a better driver. I would totally